Richard Keys versus Jamie Carragher. I think they're both not very good, to tell you the truth. Finally said a rude word. Richard Keys, you know, what a dummy. I mean, there he was on top of the world, you know, presenter for Sky, and then somebody screwed him really because, you know, he thought all the mics were off and he said something derogatory about a female ref. And I think he was saying basically she wasn't up to it and she was, and our female refs fit enough for the men's game. And then they caught other, I believe they caught other sort of comments, sexist comments of him and Andy Gray, and so they suspended him. And you know, that's my understanding of the situation. I think I'm right, I don't know, but of course he's bitter over it, and you know his bitterness. I'm sorry, mate, but you got suspended. But I understand why he doesn't understand why Carragher hasn't been suspended. Why Carragher just got 6 months suspension and he's back. And so he digs at that and says, what's the difference? Well, the difference is actually that Keys, I think you were pretty crap anyway, to be honest. And I think you were. But if you're going to attack Carragher, you know, and you talk about the spitting incident, you know, where Carragher's apologised for spitting at a 14-year-old. So he's admitted doing it, I presume, by apologising. And he's gone, mea culpa, mea culpa, mea culpa. Don't just get him for that. Dead, bypass. What you got to do is show how bad a pundit he is. I mean, that's what you got to do, mate. And it's so easy to do. You just got to, you know, look at him when he suggested, you know, that, what's her name, Abdo, the female presenter, was wearing a Thierry Henry, or an Arsenal shirt pointing at Thierry Henry. And the suggestion, I understand, was that maybe, you know, there was a little crush going on between the two of them when she's happily sort of with another man. And that was all sort of laughed off, and Abdo's laughed it off since and gone, oh, we're all friends. Of course, because they don't want any of that. Because if that was anyone else, why haven't all the women gone on that one and jumped on that one? Yeah, that's unbelievable. That's just washed. So Carragher can get away with saying what he wants, but no, no. Why don't Richard Keys, you go on about when he was caught lying on TV? I made a great bloody blog about it. Absolutely caught lying, with Harry Kane saying, yeah, you and me, Harry, before the game I was talking to you about and Harry Kane said, no, sorry, that's not true. Live on TV. And he goes, oh, come on, Harry, you know, we were live on TV, don't get me. I can't remember exact words, but don't, come on, I've got it there. There's a blog about it. Carragher lying on TV. I've got 70-something thousand hits on it. Unbelievable. Richard Keys, you want to go at Carragher, go and point out all the times his bias in his comments against other teams, okay? And how he's digging at other teams and the comments that aren't true. How he says things that, you know, he'll say that's a, you know, that's a penalty. And that's not a penalty. And this is, as long as it's not his beloved Liverpool. Richard Keys, use that. You want to dig at Carragher, dig and look up the reasons why. Don't just say he spat at some 14-year-old. So what? I'm not disagreeing that he should have been suspended and kicked out for doing it, but he's a loved one, okay? And they don't want to get rid of him. So what they've got is the two top teams in England, in Man United and Liverpool at Sky, and they've got two legends. Whether they're good or not good, it doesn't matter. Okay, whether they're biased or not biased, it doesn't matter. That's all Sky care about, right? Because they're getting big audience, two of the biggest fan bases, you know, in England watching it. Sorry, Richard Keys, you're onto a loser. Carragher is, I think, liar, because we've proven that. I don't think he's a very nice person. He's a bully if he's bitting and not saying very nice words to a 14-year-old person. He's misogynistic and really not very nice if he's trying to take the mickey out of that woman in that basis. I mean, that's my take on it. Whether I'm right or wrong, I've got to say that because I've got to be careful. But I mean, they're the things you should be going at, and his bias in his presenting. Okay, that's the thing, Richard. use your brains if you're going to attack Carragher. You know, dear me. Football Chat Uncensored, Reno talking. You know, I know Liverpool supporters are going to come back at me just because he's a legend. But, you know, just be real, say it as it is. He's not the greatest. Don't care what you say. He's not a great pundit. And he has to have it all sort of prepared for him before he goes in. Yeah.